So, got to divide to get this off. I'm going to take 1002, I'm going to divide it by 1242, and I've got something like 0.80, and I'll round it 0.80, and I'll round it to 7. This is what's equal to cosine of C. And I'm going to take the inverse of that number, the inverse of 0.807. Now this is, remember, this is the actual decimal that I keep in my calculator, and that will give me the actual value for C. So C is equal to 36 degrees for problem number 13. Once I get C is equal to 36 degrees, first of all, remember that you only need two angles and you can go find that other one. So let's take and let's grab our law of sine. So sine of 36, and again, this is a decimal in the calculator that I will be keeping. It's rounded to the nearest whole number. Sine of 36 over 16 is going to be equal to, and we'll use A because it's handy, sine of A over 23. Multiply that 23 over, I'll get sine A is equal to 23 times the sine of 36 over 16. Take the inverse sine, get a little blockage here, and I'll get A is equal to sine negative 1 of 23 times the sine of 36 divided by 16. And A will come out to be 58 degrees. Once you have 36 and 58, just do a little bit of subtraction. This plus this minus from 180, you'll get B is equal to 86 degrees. Oh, left that off. B is equal to 86 degrees. So here's A. Once you get that, A plus C is 94 minus from 180, 86. Alright, find the area. Now this one, don't go crazy on me. You have this formula. It's 1/2 side, side, sine theta. Alright? So when they ask you for the area, you have lots of different ways. You got Heron's formula, you got 1/2 base times height, but don't forget that they will give you something to use this formula on. So I have 71 is angle C, I've got 13, I've got 12. So the way this sets up is you have 1/2 side, side, and the included angle. It's got to be the angle between them, and we of course have that angle. And rounded to the nearest whole number, that area is going to be 74. You can go units squared if you want to. Looking sharp, but don't forget about that formula. There'll be a question or two that require you to utilize it. Alright, trig ratios, so tan A. Let's just go through it now. Remember, these ratios, they're not asking for the angle, they're not asking for the decimal, they're just asking for the ratio. So for tangent A, it's opposite over adjacent, so 45 is the opposite, adjacent is 28. Tan B is just going to be the reverse, so 28 and 45, because B will have the 28 is now your opposite. For number 2, I've got tan A. Opposite of A is 56, adjacent to A is 33. Tan B is going to be the opposite of that. Alright, last one, tan A of my third triangle. Opposite is going to be 9, adjacent is going to be 12. I can reduce that to 3 over 4. And then tan B is going to be the reverse, 4 over 3. Moving right along, find the value of x to the nearest tenth. Make sure we're paying attention there. Nearest tenth gives us a decimal place we need to round to. So for this one, I'm going to say that the tangent of 50 is equal to 13 over x. We're going to pretty much just flip those two, multiply both sides by x, divide both sides by tan 50, and you will get x is equal to 13 over tan 50. And that will give you x is equal to 10.9. Boom. This one, it's the exact same problem. So you will have tan of 24 is equal to 9 over x. you're going to flip that 10 and 24 and x, and you'll get 9 over 10 of 24, and that will give you x is equal to 20.2. On my very next one, I've got, oh gracious, I've got another tan. The tangent of 41, this one's a little bit easier because the x is on top, so you just multiply by 16, so 16 times the tangent of 41 is equal to x, and that's going to make x equal to 13.9. X equal 13.9 right there. Moving right along, we have 62 and 25 more tangents. There's got to be some signs or something, whatever. Continuing right along, this one going to be the tangent of 62. It's equal to x over 25. Again, super easy. 25 times the tangent of 62 is equal to x, and that's going to make x equal to 47.0. And when you do these kind of questions, make sure it makes sense. Example, 62 is bigger than this one will be 28. So across from the 28 is a side length of 25. If your answer is not bigger than 25, something is wrong. So go in there and check. Don't just kind of, don't just mossy on through this test. Make sure your triangle makes sense. Larger angles have larger sides. Blah, 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 blah. All right? Just be careful. Be careful. This one, we've got the tangent of 43 is equal to 29 over x. So x is equal to 29 over the tangent of 43. And that's going to make x equal to 31.1. My final problem for this section, I've got the tangent of 72 is equal to x over 36. So x is equal to 36 tangents of 72. And that's going to make x equal to 110.8. Scoodle-doo. Moving right along. BC is 110. Now this is where B is supposed to be. BC is 110. What is the perimeter? Alright, what we're going to have to do here is we need to find this side and this side of the triangle, and then I can do the rest of it. It's not bad. So the first thing we're going to do is find this side down here. So to find DC, DC is my adjacent side, so DC over 110 is going to be equal to the cosine of 33. And that means DC is equal to the cosine of 33 times 110. And I'm gonna have to hammer that out in my calculator. Oh, calculator turned off. There we go. 33 cosine. Then we're gonna multiply that by 110, and we will get 92. So I've got 92.2538. And then I need this side over here. That's going to be sine, and I'm just gonna write it in. So BD is going to be this time the sine of 33 times 110. So I'm going to take 33. I'm going to sine that. I'll multiply that by 110. And that's going to make BD equal to 59,901. So that's 59, 9. I'm going to multiply that by the square root of 2. So multiply that by 1.41. Boom, boom, boom. And that's going to make this 84.47 and some change. And then I just have to take this one right here is 59.9. I've got a 45.45, which means these two are the same. So 59.9 down here. And now I can go all the way around. So again, if this is 45.45, I just take that 59.9, multiply the square root of 2, and now I've got all of my sides. For number 10, that total perimeter is going to be 346.9. Alright? And it's inches for this one.